Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migration to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to our channel and turn on a little bell on side. So once we have all the new video and information, you'll be the first one of getting all the insights. Okay, now in this video, I would like to take an answer to a lot of people's questions over the past few months. Obviously, we have gone through the year of 2020 with the pandemic era. Now, we look into the world of all the vaccination, look further ahead into a post-pandemic world where a lot of people questions whether the Morrison government U-turn in immigration will further affect what they're planning originally to actually settle migrants and promote migrants to the regional area of Australia. So that's a big question mark. Now we all know that a couple of years ago the government of Australia with a reason saying the congestions, transportations, there's just too many people in the city and they want to actually get the population growth, not just to focus on the CBD or the suburban area, but heading into a more regional Australia. Now, obviously, if you follow my video last week or the week before, the Prime Minister Scott Morrison actually came out and said we need an overhaul program to tackle the immigration issues due to the economic crisis that the nation of Australia is looking to actually facing at this point in time. And last week, there's a further news article being coined in regards to such strategy as a U-turn in going against what the party or Liberal had planned or prepared to do at the time of the election last. So anyhow, would this actually affect the regional migration plan? Let's go and have a look and let's discuss this. And what is your thought? What do you think? Why don't you leave a comment right down below? Do you think regional Australia is great, good? Is it a good policy to actually get the population to regional Australia? Leave your comment right down below. Anyhow, let's go and look into the actual information that the government had published. So this information is actually in the Australia's immigration web page that you can find where it is stated regional migration. So obviously it's a big plan. So what it reads is that the committed to support regional area during the pandemic. See information below. And in November 2019, here we go. That's the actual day that the government of Australia piloted the regional migration, and in the same time they did introduce the global talent program too. So it's about the same time, but bear in mind at that point of time, they did not. No one in this earth actually know that we are going to face such a tremendous event in 2020. So the Australian government announced changes in the immigration program, strengthen our economy and boost the regional areas, and in consisting of 2 skilled regional visas and pathway to permanent residency, and we will take a look what those subclasses are, and a skilled regional permanent resident visa, and we will take a look at that too. Additional point to skilled migrant points, and more option for international student who graduate. So each of these points are actually you probably can find detail in my previous video that I posted. So the 2 skilled regional provisional visa will be 491, which is more towards a skill independent state nominated program, and also 494. 494 is more of employer sponsored. So if you have an employer and you have experience in your occupation more than 3 years, you'll be able to get your employer to sponsor you in regional area, and in order to actually gain that visa. However, this visa wasn't designed as attractive as it should be, because if you have 3 years of work experience, most of these experienced skilled worker will then choose to go 186 in CBD anyhow. So I doubt how the 494 visa had actually gone further towards the target that the immigration or the government of Australia originally wished to achieve. So that was the problem. And a skilled regional permit is when whether or not you hold a 491 or 494 visa, you get 5 years visa, and plus they give you some benefits of like such as Medicare and things like that. When you hold 3 years, obviously with the condition that you've been accomplishing at least 3 years of full-time jobs or full-time income, taxable income, you'll be able to transfer yourself into a subclass 191, which is a permanent resident visa. Obviously that comes in effect in 2022 because 2019 counting out 3 years, that's 2022. And they promote more, giving out more points to skilled migrants. If you wanted to get nominated under 491 visa, you notice you get 15 points compared to 190, which is only 5 points. So they promote more and give you more points in order to get there. However, as the same as all the other visas, once they have done all these plans and looking into implementations, 2020 hit this world. And so the program didn't go well, obviously, because they when we had the virus into Australia, the prime minister actually asked everybody to get out, so they can't even actually nominate anyone at all. And there's multiple options for international student graduates. So if you're an international student been studying in the regional campuses in Australia, you actually get more years to actually stay with the graduate temporary work visa there. So that was the plan, and also they're looking to actually enhance the agricultural sectors and the concession for COVID and business in regional as well. So that's what they were planning for. However, as I have explained and discussed, no one thought about and no one planned that there was a virus in the year of 2020. So it basically screwed up everything. So again, the question comes back here is that whether this U-turn of the Australian Immigration Department, do you still have advantage? Should you still go regional Australia? Now that's the big question here. So let's have a look what these visas are. One of us obviously subclass 491, which a lot of people have been querying, question they've been watching out for. A lot of people ask for whether offshore applicant is open now. Unfortunately, no. My earliest guess will be July. Again, we never know what will happen because it's just see Brisbane's issue. Yesterday afternoon they got back to a lockdown for 3 days. Whether or not that will be expanded, we don't know. And if you're looking into the business program, which is a investment visa, now I'm only going to show you the example from New South Wales. They are also in a way to promote regional investment as well. So in comparison, if you want to invest into Sydney or regional New South Wales, obviously look at the dollar amount, that's double. You need to put 1 mil, and if you go regional, that's $500,000. And also if you net asset required in Sydney will be 1.3 million, and regional you only need 800,000. So there also is an advantage to actually to have an advantage in investment visa if you would choose to go regional. However, I don't think that go well as well, because if these people, they have money, they I think that sort of differences doesn't make any sense. So I doubt that went well. I'm not saying no one actually chose to go investment visa and go regional. There are some, but in compared to what they're seeking for, I don't think they reach the satisfactory point what they're seeking for as well. And with the recent news article is very interesting here. Let me read it out. It says Deputy Prime Minister Michael McCormack promotes migration to regions. Now, bear in mind, this is not saying the migrants to go to regional Australia. This is actually promoting Australians who have been living in the city to actually leave the city and go to regional Australia. That's a very interesting topic that they're trying to put it here. So as you can see, the issue here with the regional Australia, obviously in the past 20-30 years, most of the budgets and investment has put it into the CBD, where they've grown the city first. But nowadays we are seeing Sydney and Melbourne have grown into a mega city where they wish to expand more, but not within the city, not within the central, but they want to go abroad. The one of the prototypes, shall I say, being very successfully planned is the city of Brisbane, where it connects north to Sunshine Coast, which is about 100 or 150 kilometers away. And it connects south to the Gold Coast, which is about 100 or 80 to 100 k down south, and then going about 200 to 300 k into Toowoomba. So it's a whole world city concept rather than centralized. So if you see this, you notice that the plan of city of Sydney and the city of Melbourne was in the old type of city planning, where they want to centralize everything into the center. Now, because Brisbane was was back then 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it wasn't even a city, but they're planning in a new way rather than putting everything centralized. So it's a new plan that the government of Australia is looking to do. And it's actually a trend. It's not just that Australia is doing it. I notice a lot of countries and a lot of nations is doing that way too. So that's another interesting article. And another one is through Australian broker, basically saying regional Australia is probably boom, is here to stay. And the problem there is very hard to find the right property that people wanted. So that, and again, that's a problem. So that actually comes back to the actual issue. Originally, the political parties were talked about, were arguing and bargaining about. They were saying congestions. Are they real congestions? They are congestions, but are the populations actually the problem towards the congestions? I mean, the answer should be yes, but also no, because we noticed during last year a lot of migrants, obviously 80% of them had exit out of Australia. However, did the congestions actually being removed? Are they gone? If you're a city-siders in Sydney or Melbourne, leave a comment right down below. Do you still see congestions today? Bear in mind, all the migrants are gone. There's no international flight. There's no international students in Australia now. Are they still congestions? If so, then population won't be an issue. There should be a public infrastructure in order to enhance the development of the nations. So coming back to the answer to the question of this video is that would regional development or regional migration still be the trend after the U-turn policy of immigrations? My answer to this is still a yes. Seems to be. I don't think there is much of changes towards the plan to go regional, because as a nation, going regional and development in regional is actually the right thing to do. However, whether utilizing regional to promote regional and to attract international students, would that be a way to do it, or should there be more enhancements? And also towards the BID program, investment visa, and in these investors, how a regional could actually benefit them? Can that be a more specific, an easier route to go around, such as the Northern Territories MINT program, MINT? Would that be also be introduced to every other state as well to actually attract more investors to regional Australia? What is your thought? Anyhow, if you have any question or query, more than welcome to leave a comment right down below. And I see you in the next video. Goodbye.